Come on. What did C.T. Fletcher say?
Yes.
Show it.
Go get it, girl. Yes, I believe in you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Go. Roll it.
Okay.
This week, we meet the dynamic duo behind Fitness on Fire, a functional training studio that embraces all things fitness. What sets Fitness on Fire apart from most other gyms is their training programs are catered towards OCRs, also known as obstacle course races. Their passion for fitness is fueled by their love for serving their members and creating community. Their success as a couple operating their business is living proof that you can keep it in the family. Today, we welcome Josh and Haydee Graves to the Escape Your Limits podcast.
Fitness on Fire is about community, number one. We're about community, we're about good coaching, and we're about self-development. Those are the three things that we believe a lot in. What Spartan has become for us is something our community bonds with, and it's something our community trains for together. And so a lot of the times it's become more of an anchor for our team to have something they're working towards. A lot of times they get fit and they're like, okay, now what? And that's kind of what this is for us. It's the and then what program, or a now what program. That once you move well, you've gotten strong, you can do things with your body, and we try to encourage people to go out and do something with that fitness, right? And that's what all this stuff's about.
Good to see you.
What's up, Matthew? How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Good seeing you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Welcome.
So, tell me about it.
Yeah, welcome to Fitness on Fire, brother. So Fitness on Fire is about community, number one. We're about community, we're about good coaching, and we're about self-development. Those are the three things that we believe a lot in. So you'll see that all over, themed in the gym. From the lobby, you'll see some of the success that...
Yeah, I see lots of medals everywhere.
And we like to share the success with people. It's something that... these are actually mostly mine and Haydee's medals, so most of the stuff that we've been involved with, but a lot of the times our team medals, you'll see trophies, things that our team has gotten together all around the gym. So hopefully as we get to the libraries and the offices and stuff, you'll see there's a little bit of success left everywhere. So
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. You've obviously been busy.
Busy. So I've been around in the industry for about a decade. We've both been around in the industry for about a decade. And in our travels and getting out there with other entrepreneurs, other fitness coaches, have seen the things that we thought were the most effective pieces of equipment in the industry. So our cardio machines, for example, are all like effort-based cardio machines. You've got like the Irvine bikes, incline treadmills that go up to 30-degree incline, right? You've got rowers. You've got the ski erg is all the rage right now. Everybody loves the ski erg. It's tough. Have you ever used the ski erg before, by any chance?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gnarly, right? Grip and rip it. But
Everyone loves the ski erg.
not everybody loves the ski erg. Most people love the ski erg. But the way it kind of works when people come in, this is the flow of the gym right now, that people come in and we teach people how to do what we call indies or individual drills. And this is where if you've got like an ongoing elbow thing with, you got like a chronic elbow injury or something, I'm going to show you a couple mobility things you can do specifically to warm that up before you jump into a class or something like that.
Right.
So a lot of the members will come in here and they'll use the mobility tools and stuff like that, start warming themselves up, getting their bodies ready. And then as one class is like leaving, the next class is warmed up and ready to kind of get in there and get going. So it's kind of neat. What Spartan has become for us is something our community bonds with, and it's something our community trains for together. And so a lot of the times it's become more of an anchor for our team to have something they're working towards. A lot of times they get fit and they're like, okay, now what? And that's kind of what this is for us. It's the and then what program, or a now what program. That once you move well, you've gotten strong, you can do things with your body. And we try to encourage people to go out and do something with that fitness, right? And that's what all this stuff's about. So pretty much if you ever earn a medal at Fitness on Fire while you train here, then we're going to get you on the Wall of Fame. So we'll get a picture from the race, we'll have you sign the picture, and it goes up forever. And we have athletes of all kinds. We've got youth athletes, your baseball, hockey players, basketball players, football players. We've got your obstacle racing athletes, your grown-ups, bodybuilding contestants, kettlebell competitors, pretty much every type of race, American Ninja Warrior. It's kind of neat. And so some of these members honestly don't come here anymore, but as long as they earned it while they're here, they're going to stay on the wall. And it's something neat because when they do come back, sometimes they'll show their friends like, hey, that's me on the wall. And it's created a really neat sense of accomplishment for people. So yeah, this is the main room. This is our like the metabolic conditioning room of sorts. And I'll start with what I think is the most important, which is the mindset behind training, right? And it might sound cliche or cheesy, but sometimes you're going through a hard set and you'll look up and you'll see something like I can, and it gets you through. We believe that the way you do one thing is the way you probably do most things. And so the principles of fitness, the things that we learn in the gym, setting goals, working hard to attain those goals, believing when you don't know if you can or not, but believing that you're going to keep working until you get it, all those things, I think translate into your work life, your relationships, so on and so forth. So we try to help people become better people, and then it's just kind of wrapped up in the fitness product. Right. And so mindset was the first thing. When we said we were going to get the gym, this was one of the first things we wanted to do, is have a quote wall and start to encourage that mindset.
Yeah. So where do these quotes come from? Are they things that you, some of them, what people that you just took their quotes, did you create any yourself, or are they just ones you happen to like?
Definitely didn't quote myself. That
would have been so funny. All the quotes are Josh's.
But some of these are just some of my favorites. So, for example, Napoleon Hill is this is my all-time favorite quote.
Right.
Discipline's the everyday process of focusing on what you want and striving relentlessly for it until you get it. This came from the book Think and Grow Rich, if you're familiar.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my favorites. For the first self-development book I ever read, somebody put me in that direction, and it changed everything for me. That was actually part of what this is all. One day I sat down and read that book, and I had dreams of one day owning my own facility and be able to create a living for our family doing what we really love doing. So this got me dreaming a little bit. So that was definitely when they had to go front and center.
Yeah.
The Rourke was one of the coaches I worked with a while ago, one of my trainers that I used to buy sessions from, and I like his quote. He talks about always can. And so if you ever say like the word can't or impossible or something around those lines in front of him, oh man, you're gonna get it. We always joke with our members here. You can say any four-letter word you want here except the word can't.
Right.
So
you got M&M up there as well then.
Yeah, that brings me back to some high school football. We used to listen to that before every game. That what's the song? Lose yourself. There you go.
You can sing it if you
Yeah.
want.
I was thinking about it. You don't want that, I promise, man. And then Bruce Lee, Vince Lombardi. So absolutely some major influences in my development, at least. Again, really, we teach a couple things. We teach like this hierarchy of movement. We teach the idea that you have to move well first.
Right.
So when people come into the gym, a lot of people, because we do a lot of Spartan and obstacle racing, a lot of people come in and they're like, I want to learn how to climb a rope, but they can't lift their shoulders overhead. So if you can't lift your shoulders overhead, you're not really qualified to climb a rope yet. So the first thing we have to do is make sure your shoulders work the way shoulders are supposed to work. We have to create good movement first, right? So once we've built a good base of good movement, then we look at strength training. We look at how do we progress somebody to we talk about strength takes care of everything. If you're strong, you're going to be injury resilient. If you're strong, you'll be able to last long. You'll be so on and so forth. So kind of like general physical preparedness, GPP. We make sure that our athletes get strong. So they move well, they get strong. And then after that's all set, you've got that foundation, then we try to invite them to go do something with that fitness.
Right.
And so for some of our members, getting fit is enough. And then for some of our members, it's like, how can I be the top guy in the gym and what category and whatnot? So this is a part of that, which is the idea that if our top 5 in anything we do in the gym actually gets put up on the board, and it becomes something that has added some healthy competition in the gym.
Right.
About every quarter we do what's called the Graves Challenge. So it encompasses some of these movements.
Right.
So it rallies the community behind these movements.
Yeah.
Because some people do better when they have a community behind them.
Right.
They have a little bit more in them. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. The testing day, it's crazy. There's like 50 people in here, so you're going for a strict kettlebell press, and you're struggling. You got a room full of people like and then you're like you get it. It's like yeah, there's definitely a huge energy with it, so it helps a lot.
And how are these sort of dates on the calendar where you sort of say, right, we're going to do a challenge day, or how does that work?
Pretty much, yeah. It's pretty much at least one Saturday a month we do some type of open gym thing.
Right.
Open gym might be like a community gym thing. We have open gym every day. People can come and work out all day long, but we have like a day that's scheduled for like to invite your friends, family, kind of a community day. And on those days are the days that we normally test and let people get a chance to officially make it real. So if we can help people get strong in these positions, they tend to live better quality of life all around. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so here at Fitness on Fire, you're going to crawl, you're going to climb, you're going to lunge, you're going to jump, you're going to use your body more so than if you went to a gym that you're just going to sit on a machine and push something.
Yeah.
And that's why Spartan and all the obstacle racing stuff kind of resonate with us, is because I'll give that a second. It's very natural movement. It's not like how much you bench, bro. It's more like, can you get over that wall or not? It's more about your skills. Can you get across the monkey bars? So it really puts a more human element into training, I think.
Right.
And so that's why we continue to build this stuff. So things such as like the multi-rig, where it's kind of like hot lava. Once you get up there, you're not supposed to touch the ground. You got to get from one ring to the bell on the other end. Things like rope climb, things like the monkey bars across the top, that kind of stuff. It resonates with that more human message.
Yeah.
But other things is we just celebrate all things fitness. So there's a good chance that if it's cool, if it does good for people, and we can learn about it, then we'll probably bring it in and we'll get educated on it, and we'll try to add some benefit for the members there.
Yeah.
So the gymnastics rings are fun. The first niche we ever opened up with was the kettlebells and the TRX. So it's kind of cool. You got a TRX in here and the kettlebells behind it. I'm an RKC, Russian kettlebell instructor. That's like my niche and my passion with training. So initially, when we opened up the initial studio, the whole ambition was to open a TRX and kettlebell studio.
Right.
And it was very minimal overhead. It was a chance that I was training in a park, and that's all I used at the park was the TRX and kettlebells, and I was able to get people incredible results. I was like, dude, let's blow that up and scale that, right? So, so that's a big part of our training. Kettlebells are used in almost every class. We're going to teach people how to use the kettlebells properly. When you do use the kettlebells properly, it'll be great for your back, great for your hips, great for your posture and your posterior chains. So, so yeah, you'll definitely learn at least the swing if you come to Fitness on Fire, for sure. Swing and Turkish get up are two things we do pretty much every day here.
Right. Okay. So, but it expanded from that simple concept, obviously, to a bit more.
Sure. And I think it all hinged off a community. We trained with some different type of objects and moved a little bit more. And one of our girls came up to us one day and she's like, "Hey, have you guys ever done a Spartan race?" And I'm like, "I have not. I don't know why. I just haven't really done it." She's like, "Your guys' training is perfect for Spartan race. Like, you guys got to do a Spartan race." And she's like, "Would you do it with me?" And so she's like, "I'll sign up for the year if you commit to doing a Spartan race with me," kind of thing. It's like, deal. All right, cool. So we did it. Haydee and I went out for our first Spartan race together, and
Absolutely terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
I loved it.
I was terrible, but I got better, obviously.
You finished though.
Yeah, finished, and
Wow,
then after that we just started, the harder obstacles were like, why don't we just implement it in the gym so we could practice for the next one? Because off the bat, we signed up for our trifecta. If we were going to go into Spartan, we might as well just go big if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things when you do it, you just fall in love with it. Like, if it resonates with you, you either really love it or you really hate it. There's no in between. That's polar opposites. You either it's everything you've ever looked for. The suffering, there's like healing in that weird suffering, or it's just suffering and people are like, why did I sign up for this? This is awful. So you have more of the specific stuff on this side of the house. So things such as your maces and your 200-pound Atlas stones and kegs and sandbags and boxing equipment. We call this the dirty side of the gym because the sand and the Atlas stones and all that kind of jazz.
So what weight's the big blue one?
This guy here, man, this is what we call the Hulk stone. This is a 215. And then buckets, if you're at all familiar with Spartan bucket carries, are awful, so you got to practice them. Yeah, the Hulk stone, dude, is the real deal. So yeah, it's a 215 boy. And there's some different exercises we do with the Atlas stones, but
So can you pick that one up there?
I can, man. I can on a good day. Oh, dude. Heidi knows how I work too. She's like, let's see, I'll pick it up. I'm not gonna put it over my shoulder, but. And then the other exercises is now what you would do is either set it on like a shelf, or we compete in a competition called Epic Series. In Epic Series, they have you throw the ball over your shoulder. And this was no joke. It used to be a 160, and then we came out for one competition one day. They just had the 215 out there, and it stumped all the strong dudes. It was nasty. So.
And what's the buckets? Tell me
So
about
the
that
buckets, so bucket carrying Spartan is probably the most suffering specific obstacle at Spartan. They just give you a bucket for the men. It's close to 80 or 90 pounds.
Right.
And you're going to carry that bucket. What happens is you get a bucket, an empty bucket, and there's a big pile of rocks.
Yeah.
So you fill your bucket up with all those little pebbles, and they have holes in the top of the bucket.
Right.
And the old way it used to work is that if you could see daylight through the holes, your bucket wasn't filled enough.
Right.
Right, so you got to fill it up, carry it, and then this is a pretty heavy bucket. Ooh. So, and then you carry the bucket, normally close to a quarter mile. Yeah, it's just awful, man. Just a whole different kind of suffering. You've got a spear throw target.
So yeah, tell me what's going on here.
Yeah, you have to give me a throw spear now. We'll actually have Heidi throw spear. She's dope.
Do you literally throw spears?
You literally throw a spear. The whole ambition with Spartan is you throw it from 20 to 25 feet, and the spear is supposed to stick in the bale of hay.
Right.
And so if you only get one throw, the way
Okay.
Spartan works is any obstacle you fail, you have to do 30 burpees for every obstacle. So you get one throw to make it. If you miss, you do 30 burpees. We just recently built the Olympus Wall. The Olympus Wall is another really tough one at Spartan. This is a tough obstacle. So the way it works is normally like a bale of hay here. Once you get up onto the wall, I'm in slacks, mind you, but you are meant to traverse across the wall. Oh, that's interesting with the with dress shoes on. But you're meant to traverse across the wall without having your feet touch the ground.
So who comes up with the ideas for the kit? Do you look at what's going on in Spartan and then you get someone to build it, or?
Pretty much, yeah. We try to have most of the major Spartan obstacles. Watch your step, Kevin. So yeah, we try to build most of the Spartan obstacles. The ones that they call the Burpee Makers. The Burpee Makers are normally the obstacles that most people are likely to fail.
Yeah.
Most people don't do burpees over a wall or carrying a bucket, but a lot of people aren't going to get through the monkey bars or through the multi-rig or getting the spear throw perfect. So we try to make sure we have all those major obstacles. Last part to say about like what I really am passionate about is the leadership library. And so we talked earlier about self-development.
Yeah.
And what we want to do is create a little bit of like a third space for the members here.
Right.
Somewhere between work and home that they can hang out and have a place to do their work, do their homework for the students that train here. And also just give them resources. So it's kind of like a leave one, take one thing. Members can take a book whenever they see fit. If they've got an extra book that they don't want, they can bring it. We joke that a missing book's worth 100 burpees, but we don't hold anybody really accountable for it. But
So what sort of stuff have you got here? Is it just a mixture of everything? This looks like an old one.
That's a good one, actually. The answer, you picked a good book. I think you'd really like that book, actually. This talks about kind of the law of attraction as it relates to business.
Okay.
That's a really good book.
Yeah, I've not seen this one.
It actually goes into like quantum physics and how all of it relates, and thought is things and all this stuff. And that's a really good one. It's written by John Assaraf. He's like the leading, like the most selling Remax agent, I think, of all time, or something around those lines.
Right.
Yeah. But mostly, to answer your question about the books, mostly self-development books, some fitness books, some cooking books, pretty much anything else that the members want to bring and donate, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the idea was primarily about self-development books and just trying to invite people to start reading and doing something a little bit more with their education.